All right, so I'm going to show you how to repair this all-in-one remote control. The buttons seem to work here, all except the TV. That's the one we use the most. So what I'm going to do is take this apart and show you how to clean those buttons so that they'll hopefully work again. So first thing I do is take off the back where the batteries are and then remove the batteries. You can see in this remote there are two small screws here and here. I'm going to remove those first. So screw one, then the second screw here. Okay. After those screws are done, the back here becomes loose. You can see there's a little bit of an opening here where I can stick my finger in. And then I'm going to slide this along the seam here because there are tabs that can be popped out. You want to do this really carefully so that you don't break your remote controller, but basically as I gently loosen this, the tab should just pop right out like that, and the same on the other side. So I'll just gently work either side. This is a one for all remote, but a lot of remotes are built very similarly. So you can see I've got it partially open here. I can slide the screwdriver through and carefully pop both sides here, and the front faceplate pops off. Now it'll have these little rubber buttons, and you want to be really careful of these, not to rip them. So these buttons have little contact spots on the back. Each button has a contact spot. These ones are really small, but a lot of remotes will have larger contact spots. And so those allow the circuit board to detect a press. So if my camera would focus here, you would be able to see this. But basically each contact point has some little zigzag, some zigzag points here. Let's see if this camera will focus. But when these spots contact the zigzags, what happens is you make contact there. And so I'm going to clean the top part of this with a little rubbing alcohol and some paper towel here, using the 70% variety. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the bottom. Hopefully get that piece to light up again. So you want to be usually careful with this stuff. You can rub it on and then it'll dry off, and it will then you can wipe it dry with a paper towel. Here we are. Okay. That seems fairly clean. I'm going to try wiping along that area that I know is where the TV remote was. And there was some gunk on here before. There's a little spot where I had to rub quite a bit to get it off. And you'll get, food or liquid spill in here wherever there's cracks in the remote, and that just kind of happens. So no matter how careful you try to be, that can happen. And so this is the whole circuit board. And the other thing I noticed is that there's a little bit of corrosion on the battery contact there. So I'm going to clean that up a little bit too. Again, using the same rubbing alcohol solution with the with the paper towel. And there we are. Okay, so that's clean. This is looking pretty good. Now the other side is the remote side, and I want to make sure I do extra work here to clean that up. Now let's see, this, where the TV button is, it's got a little gunk in it, so I'm going to clean it really good. The other buttons had been working just fine, although they were a little hard to press compared to what they used to be when I first got this remote. But you can see there's a little bit of junk on there. So this being really nice and clean means that we should be able to, you can get a little and wipe it a little bit on the inside of the sides of the buttons as well. Just mostly cosmetic. All right, so we got that cleaned out. It should now contact much better with this TV button. We'll see. We'll see if I can keep this remote. So if you've pulled out the circuit board, simply line it up and carefully slide it back in until it's in there. Now it looks like this one is right there. Okay, so it just kind of sits in there. I'll do a little bit of cleaning on this one, but I don't think any of these buttons had a problem. Yeah, it's a little dirty. Okay. All right. Just kind of sit that there. Actually, what you could do is you can take the frame and push the buttons into the frame again. Make sure they're all lined up correctly. This should make it easier to slide this on top, and then you're just going to have to snap each corner in place. So in this case, it just snaps on the sides, snaps on the sides, snap, snap, and you're done. So this looks complete. You're going to make sure each edge is flush, and then screw in those screws again. I got a couple tiny broken plastic pieces. That can happen. Usually it doesn't affect the remote. Hopefully you've opened it carefully enough and closed it carefully enough that that doesn't happen to you, or that if it does, it's just cosmetic and not functional. Now just keep in mind that this can hurt your remote if you're not careful, or even if you are careful and something can happen. Okay, so we're going to try this out. The moment of truth here. This is a little dirty too from the previous battery corrosion. That was a problem there. I'm going to try to clean it out a little bit before I put it back on. Okay. And we're done. Let's see if it works. Oh yeah, lights up. Just, you can see that. Yeah, it's lighting up now. You got this, you got this, yeah. Perfect.